Camden Council are on the cusp of introducing what would become the most draconian busking policy in the entire United Kingdom. Anybody who busks without a licence will be liable to have their instrument seized. They can then be hauled in front of a magistrate and fined £1,000. And if they don't pay that fine within 28 days, the council have given themselves the power under this proposed legislation to sell a person's instrument and their equipment in order to discharge the debt of the fine.
If the police can find a second-hand market for a kazoo, good luck to them, frankly.
My name is Jonny Walker, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm also a full-time busker. Yeah, we do exist. I love playing on the streets. It's the immediacy of it. It's the sense of community. It's those connections between strangers. It's those encounters. And I think it's a really important part of urban life that adds to the overall happiness of places where people live, work, and visit. But in recent years, as well as playing on the streets, I've had to spend half my time, and sometimes all my time, campaigning against new laws that are popping up all over the country to place blanket restrictions on street performance.
Amongst these dark satanic mills.
The total number of complaints received in Camden Borough, with a population of 250,000 people, in the last year, regards to busking, were 104.
I used to buy my chips from an oppressive chip shop regime.
15 complaints were made by complainant number 22. People in the entire borough of Camden, a place with a footfall in the millions every year, have complained.
Hey, they said what? I said nothing.
When I saw how damaging the proposals were, I asked them to reconsider. I set up a petition that's been signed by nearly 6,000 people. I've done everything I can to stop this new law coming into effect. Through the consultation process, through speaking to the Cabinet, the Licensing Committee, and finally the full Council. But in a narrow vote, Camden Council passed this new law. From the beginning of February next year, playing music in the streets of Camden, even singing, will become a criminal offence.
Do you think you can tell? Do you get to train?
What happens in Camden has national implications. Public spaces that are open to grassroots expression of art, culture and music are really important for our civic well-being.
Her sad dark face was filled with fire, his tears fell to her feet, and lifetimes trickled sadly into the river of the street.
Now the only avenue left is to challenge it in the High Court. We've engaged a firm of leading human rights solicitors, Leigh, to bring action on our behalf and to ask a High Court judge to strike down this unjust new law. Legal challenges and campaigns of this nature cost a lot of money. I'm a working musician with a young family. I want to do this properly, so I've set up a not-for-profit organisation called Keep Streets Live to be a transparent fundraising vehicle. In order to challenge this unjust new law, we urgently need to raise £25,000. Just as buskers rely on the goodwill of people in order to make an honest living on the streets, so this campaign is relying on the goodwill of people who can see why this issue is important and are willing to dip into their own pockets to help us.
I cut my busking chops in Liverpool, and I met almost the entire homeless community of Liverpool. And you realise that on street level there are many people who fall through the cracks. There are people who are vulnerable, there are people who have drug and alcohol problems, mental health problems. Often a busker can be a familiar place, a little lighthouse for them to stand in the street. If you take away the buskers of Camden or any public place, you're removing a small little level of protection. I think there's a wider agenda going on here. It's about social change, it's about people on the margins being priced out of our urban centres. There is a really wide political context to what's going on here. And we're saying to the political leaders of Camden, don't change Camden, unless you're changing it for the better. While she's lying there, she's the one we just don't see.